one of the amazing things that I've discovered is how much you are a thought leader in the tech world, but especially AI. So share with us a little bit about, where your thoughts and your vision of AI, now being in the popular culture, but you were before what was happening now in this time in this space.
Well, this guy really goes back to my childhood, the computer geek story, because I also spent a lot of time watching shows like Star Trek
Yes.
and sci-fi shows. So in Star Trek, AI is a big part of the future of the technology. So when ChatGPT first dropped and showed that inkling, that spark of what it could be, it was very easy to overlay it with where it could go. And so you start thinking about what AI actually is, which is an artificial brain, artificial agent that doesn't have the limitations of a human body and human brain, and you extend that. You extend it to business, personal life. You extend it to every aspect of society that we are struggling with as humans, right? AI can do everything better, faster, cheaper, and that's really what it comes down to. If AI can do all those things, then everything changes. All our social contracts change, and how we approach technology changes, how we interact, how we do business, everything will change because of AI will become a necessity for business because of how much cheaper it is compared to the human option.
Yeah. Well, I originally came from tech in the software industry, so I'm very familiar with many of the terms. But a lot of our, audience may be hearing ChatGPT, AI, which is artificial intelligence, for the first time, and maybe provide a little bit of context as to, it just didn't arrive that one day, as you said, someone decided to put a brain together. Someone was inspired like you, watching the Star Trek and all that.
Sure, yeah.
But share a little bit about the context of the history of that.
Okay, you're probably going to be shocked by this, but ChatGPT isn't actually AI.
There you go. You've heard it for the first time.
You would identify with this because you come from the technology world. But ChatGPT is the DOS prompt for AI. AI is actually what ChatGPT app talks to, but you're actually talking to essentially a mathematical model that it's a predictive model that is simply understands statistically what is the most likely answer to whatever you're talking about. It's really not that much different from the autocomplete on your keyboard, on your phone.
Interesting.
Just much more intelligent, much grander.
Right.
But ChatGPT, the app itself, is simply just a way to communicate with that AI brain.
Yeah. And ChatGPT was conceived by OpenAI.
Yes. Yeah.
And just share with us as much as you can.
Okay, so if you want
a little bit context-wise,
ChatGPT was the very first example of using the general purpose transformer, which is what GPT stands for. And they've essentially were the first ones to show it to everybody. And the other AI providers like Google or Meta or XAI, they were so far behind because nobody really knew where everybody else was.
Right.
And OpenAI was the first one to show the world where they are. And that's when the pressure came on the other companies to not just catch up, but also to try to beat OpenAI. See, the challenge with AI development is that companies like OpenAI use AI to build better AIs, which means the progress is actually exponential.
Right.
And because of the fact that it's an exponential curve, if you start reaching that parabolic moment, if you are not anywhere near your competition, they will never catch up. That's because it's parabolic, right? It's exponential, which is why Mark Zuckerberg is offering $1 billion salaries so that they will not be left behind.
Right,
Because
right.
once you're behind, you will never catch up.
And the vision of OpenAI changed. Initially, it was supposed to be the betterment of society and therefore a traditional nonprofit. But but now with obviously the conflict with that's going on. What's your take on that? And clearly, they've shifted to a more for-profit model. Would you say, or not even that? Or they're trying to balance the two, I guess.
You're right. It's about balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's about them finding their place.
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI, along with Google and Meta and all the other companies, they're at the forefront and they are literally changing the world.
Right.
And that's a lot of responsibility.
Right.
And how we approach that. And there is no book about it. There's no guideline about it because this has never been done before.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is trying to keep up and get as much of that figured out without actually slowing development, because you can't slow down. That genie is out of the bottle.
Yeah.
If you slow down, somebody else, your competition will not.
Yeah.
So there's pressure to advance that development of AI, but also to be able to develop some kind of a framework to do it responsibly. So because of that landscape so dramatically changing, I understand why OpenAI hasn't really found that place where they want to be, because on the one hand, Sam Altman talks a lot about curing cancer and talks about making the world a better place, but obviously running OpenAI is not cheap.
No, exactly.
I mean, we're talking billions and billions of dollars. I mean, it's the Stargate project that the biggest data center ever being built is projected to cost $500 billion.
Oh, incredible.
It's an unimaginable amount of money. And finding way to recoup that cost. Obviously, the businesses that invest in that, they want to see return on investment.
Exactly.
And that's the line that Sam Altman and OpenAI have to toe. On one hand, do good for humanity, not destroy all of us, and also be profitable.
I think that's probably the other situation is because you have, you are so much in the industry, but for a layperson like ourselves who read the media and, you on the one track, you see all the amazing things that AI is doing, but then on the flip side, the consequences, the fears of what AI can do, and the whole idea that the emergence of an intelligence, general artificial intelligence. What is your take on that? And for lay people, should we absolutely be concerned, or this is just part of the disruption that we live in and we'll figure it out?
It's very easy to go down this rabbit hole that AI is going to destroy everything. Right? It will destroy everything, but not in a way where it's going to be catastrophic to humanity. It will simply destroy our current way of doing things, our current way of thinking, our current way of living, right? And replace it with something better, right? Ultimately, we as a humanity have a voice and we have a choice how we're going to bring AI into our lives. And that's actually something that we're currently figuring out, and we're starting to see patterns.
Right.
In HeitechSoft, we talk to business owners every day.
Right.
And we hear the worries, is AI going to replace all of my employees? Is AI going to replace my job? And we say, we think about it in terms of, yes, AI will replace your employees if your employees will not adopt AI into their workflows. If they refuse to learn AI, Microsoft Office. Remember Microsoft Office?
Exactly.
Right? It was a job requirement to know how to use Excel, use Word, and PowerPoint.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This isn't really any different.
No, it's true.
Right. It's just you have to be proficient with this tool to be able to use it. Will it replace you? No, because it will take I believe it will take at least several generations before we trust the systems enough that we can let AI do the critical decision making.
Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, I'm as you are reflecting on Excel, the whole Microsoft suite. I mean, even before that, WordPerfect and how Adobe software basically changed the whole industry, and every disruption causes something that will be painful for a current generation who grew up in that time, but then it starts a new ecosystem. So
Yes.
that's a very positive way that you're sharing with us, so that it's not necessarily to fear it, but just to understand that is part of the disruption of something like a new technology like AI.
Of course. And will some jobs will be completely eliminated? Of course, of course they will.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when electricity was first invented, we replaced the person that was operating an elevator with the lever with a simple button. Right? That job was replaced.
Yes.
But that person most likely, and I'm of course saying that because I don't know, but most likely found a different job that they were best suited for. And this isn't going to be any different. We will, as a society, we'll draw the line. Draw the line where AI stops and humans begins. It will most likely start with orchestrating AIs. Right? We all become managers, and we will have AI agents do all the actual hard work. We will simply look at the result, not any different than what our subordinates would do, evaluate it, and decide whether they need to go back and do it again, or accept it and give them a different task. Its difference is that the responsibility of the task will be shifted to AI.
Right. It's a whole efficiency thing. I mean, with this technology, it increases the efficiency, which unfortunately causes a chain reaction.
Yes.
But then if you're looking future forward, the kids of today, which is a big fear because, they've grown up saying, oh, I should be a software engineer. I should be, managing banks or accountancy. But AI is transforming the whole knowledge industry. But it just means, like, if I'm hearing what you're saying, it just means that there will be other things that a new generation will find value, that they will add in a new ecosystem, a new economy will arise from that.
Absolutely. Software engineers, that job is pretty much end of life. We've been experimenting with AI code writers, vibe coding or context engineering, if you want to call it. We were able to build 3 websites from scratch in 2 weeks without a human writing a single line of code. And that is unheard of prior to this technology. So naturally, now to go back a little bit, AI is not perfect and it still makes a lot of mistakes, but it will only get better from here. This is as bad as it gets because we will continue to improve it. So yes, development jobs are not gone today, but they will be gone tomorrow. Right? But that means we have time, or the software developers have time to decide what to do about it. Right? Go back to school, learn how to use AI effectively, how to bring out your creativity, because that's really actually where human element will become very important, is how to use your creativity creativity and communication skills to be able to explain to the AI exactly what you want to build, and then have AI do the actual building.
Right. Now you've mentioned a lot of industry words, vibe coding, agents. Maybe share a little bit about what those terms are for someone who may not follow tech.
Okay,
and the implications of those.
Vibe coding is probably one of the coolest technologies that I think it is, because I've spent my career as a software developer, right? Which essentially, software development works like this. Somebody has a business requirement, right? A business would like a new website or a new tool. They will hire a business analyst. The business analyst will gather the requirements. Then they will talk to a designer or an architect, right? They will come up with a solution for the problem. And then you bring in graphic designers, web designers, backend developers, the entire team to build the solution to a problem that started at the business level. Vibe coding eliminates all that. And then all I have to do is tell AI my problem, and AI will simply come up with the solution. And not just come up with the solution, it will build the solution. And they can do that by simply talking to it in your own language. There is very little opportunity or chance for miscommunication, because you instantly see the results on your screen. If I say build me a website and I don't like the font, I just say change the font, make it bigger, make it smaller, and it instantly does it. Now, in previous software development, that was a process where all of those team members had to be involved, right? A lot of communication, a lot of opportunities for miscommunication, and all of that has been replaced. So vibe coding is simply you working in tandem with the AI to build the perfect solution for your biggest problem.
That's an incredible insight and implication. And it reminds me of, let's say, when companies started 1940s, 50s, you basically had an administrative assistant. The administrative assistant, you'll tell them, can you take my blah, blah, blah.
Yes, take a memo.
Take a memo,
yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Type this. I even remember my mom learning shorthand
yes.
and working as an administrative assistant. And then, like you said, fast forward to the software days where one can create the applications to suddenly start to replace a need for an actual person, but using the software to then be able to do those tasks. But the implications are even more so now that it's like, not only can you do a specific task, but you can also order pizza for us for the meeting. You can also order, sign up for our flights if we're taking off somewhere. It's magnified and the tasks that one would either have multiple people or the process that you described to write the software to be so sophisticated to bring all those information. And that's the disruption I think people are fearing. But even though we've lived it through multiple decades in past technology.
Well, but I think most people miss the fact that AI has been around us for a very, very, very long time.
True.
You talk, remember, Siri?
Yes.
I mean, it is
exactly.
Siri has been around for a very long time. It is a form of AI.
You're right.
We look at Facebook, Meta.
Yes.
Right? Facebook, the algorithm that decides what to show you next is artificial intelligence, it's machine learning. It's been around for a very long time. We've already been using AI without really noticing it.
Yeah, or calling it that.
Or calling it that, for sure, yes.
Yeah. But, your clients, you've dealt with startups, you've dealt with small businesses, such as ours, but also Fortune 500 companies. Share a little bit about, what you bring to the table to each of those clients that you've had over the years. Because they all come from different parts of the business, right?
So throughout my career, I worked for businesses of every size. And one of the things that I realized 15 years into it is that there is a certain type of business or a certain size of business where I enjoy working the most. I find it more fulfilling, fulfilling. And it's not the Fortune 500 companies. The Fortune 500 companies...
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, no, of course not. Fortune 500 companies are very rigid, but they have very clearly defined processes and incredible tools versus very expensive tools that help them be in the Fortune 500. What AI does and what my capabilities are is knowing that these tools exist, is being able to scale them down to something that an SME, small business owner can afford, and be able to implement similar processes so that they can be as efficient as these Fortune 500.
Right. So there are incredible implications of what you have just said. Not only are you able to help small businesses to basically have the tools to be able to scale, and also the resources that one would typically need. And that's why, hence the Fortune, the Fortune 500 companies. But you, and through AI and your consultative knowledge, have been able to guide a lot of businesses. Is that true?
Yes. So typically, a business owner doesn't know what they don't know. They don't know what tools are available, what can be done with their business, because their expertise is in what they do.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Artificial intelligence is a whole other level. Most people can't wrap their head around it. So what we've been experiencing is essentially now very little adoption in AI. I don't know if you know this. Canada actually ranks 44th. Out of 47 countries when it comes to AI literacy.
That's insane.
Most of it has to do with several factors. One of them is simply businesses not understanding what AI can actually do for me. I mean, you've used ChatGPT and you can use it to format your emails, but you're only just barely scratching the surface. Exactly. Formatting an email is not going to make a big impact on your bottom line for your business. So we're launching a service. It's called a tutoring, a coaching program called AI Explained.
Right.
And it's about getting rid of dispelling the myths, clearing the hype, and and actually explaining to a small business owner in their language, in their terms of what AI actually is, without the jargon.
There you go.
And help them cross or close the imagination gap. Because the challenge is, if you don't understand how AI works and what it means, it's very difficult for you to imagine how AI is going to help your business.
Exactly.
But if you understand what AI is and what it's capable of, then you have that aha moment. And the moment you understand what AI can do, you start mentally plugging it into your business processes.
Right.
AI can help me deal with phone calls. They can help me fill out forms, understand contracts. Because AI can read a contract, translate it and into your terms, and even tell you if there's anything in that contract that's missing or anything that needs to change in order to benefit you. Because your AI naturally aligns with you. It's advocating on your behalf.
Right. Well, I can definitely understand what you're saying, because coming from the corporate world and a software context as well, and also dealing in we sold computerized maintenance management systems, and those were two large companies, mining companies. My role essentially was to be able to take very complex information but make it so that the shop floor person understood the consequences, whether it's increased productivity, whether it's savings, and because Beverly and I live the entrepreneurship path that we chose after our corporate life.
The challenges.
And part of the challenge is many people who start businesses, especially small businesses, may not have come from that formal education of what is business strategy, what do you do when you look at marketing, sales, and that. But also, a lot of small businesses, they're so focused on operations. Sometimes it's pure survival. It's like, oh my God, I need to increase sales because I can't pay the rent for the next month, especially if they're in startup mode and they're trying to, do that.
Well, it's not even startups, because of a current economic climate. I mean, things are tough.
True.
And growing sales is actually very difficult right now.
Yeah.
Right? But costs are increasing.
Yes.
So how do you mitigate it? Well, this is a perfect use case for AI.
Exactly.
Because it will make your business far more efficient, which essentially means without raising your revenue, you'll still end up with more money in your pocket.
And the other thing too is sometimes with small business people who are, especially in the creative field, are filled with so many ideas, and sometimes one doesn't have access to a board of directors or a team that can provide, like yourself, that can give objective information. But AI also provides that route for someone to be able to put all their ideas, and another way to screen out some of the ideas.
You know what? It's funny you should mention that, because that's exactly what we've been experimenting with. We at HeitechSoft, we actually have a board of directors. We have a CFO, we have a CMO, we have a CTO, we have the entire board, including a CEO, essentially a digital twin of myself. And they understand everything that is happening within the business because they're connected to a common knowledge base. And then I can have a meeting with my board of directors and actually get feedback based on what is currently happening with the company. The way we have it set up is I don't have to explain everything to the AI what is happening, because it's already connected to every aspect of a business. It can read the emails, it can read the documents. So we simply have a catch-up meeting. And the beauty, this happened last week. I had this idea for an ad campaign, and I brought it to my AI CMO, and he shut it down. He said, "You know what? I have a better idea. Why don't we do this?" So this is a little tidbit of a little hint of how we can do this. ChatGPT or Google Gemini, which is what we use, is very generic because it has read every single book, right? It has graduated from every single Ivy League school.
Yes,
right?
Essentially, yes.
But because it's everything,
a whole knowledge
it's
base
the
of
average,
civilization,
it's the
and
average of everything.
And yes,
right? A Gemini, one Gemini instance doesn't really differentiate itself from another Gemini instance because it's the same knowledge base. So how do you overcome it? Well, the best way is to give it a persona. Imagine that AI, GPT or Gemini, is a blank mannequin.
Yes.
Right? It's a naked mannequin. It's got nothing on it. Well, in order to make it truly unique, we put on a wig and we give it some lipstick or whatever works. We put on clothes and we give it a personality that we want, that because it aligns with the culture of HeitechSoft.
Yes.
Now, the best way to do this is to look at historical figures that, for example, successful CMOs in our past. And then we can instruct our Gemini to say, I want you to adopt that persona of that person, and every decision that you make, ask yourself, what would so-and-so do?
Yes.
And then it now no longer becomes generic. Exactly. It still has all of that knowledge, but it's channeled into a personality.
Yes.
And that personality aligns with the way Steve Jobs, for example. Steve Jobs is our CMO, just so you know.
Just because information exists out there, it still has to be relative to the original people who took that information in their own way, was able to distill that information. And now you have is it right to say software? It's not. It is
software, yes.
It's software.
Technology,
that can take on the flow, the decision-making process of someone. And you can, a lot of us say, oh, we are inspired by, this is inspiration beyond, because it's really taking the data information of their thinking. Really, and mapped it into something that you create for yourself.
That's right. And now you have to understand that this is because in the current state, AIs can't actually come up with novel ideas. Right? If you give it AI a problem that it has never seen before, it's not able yet. But that's AGI. That's the next level of AI. When it is able to solve a problem that has never seen before.
Right.
But because of that limitation, we have to give it a persona in order to think like Steve Jobs.
Yes.
But once we reach that AGI level, then it's a whole nother ball game. But fortunately, we're still a little bit away from that.
I mean, I'm hearing more and more. It could be within 5 years. Is that what you're?
I think 5 years is attainable for sure.
Which is really incredible too. If you think within 5 years that you have this entity that could potentially think for itself.
Well, AI already thinks for itself.
Oh yeah.
Right, because that's what when you asked earlier, what are agents?
Right. Yes.
Agents is AI that makes decisions. Right? It makes decisions on its own without asking you what to do next. Right? So that is already the decision-making part. Right? But now, whether where you use ChatGPT, you ask it a question, you give it a directive, and then it answers. With agents, the roles are reversed. It is asking you the relevant information in order to make a decision that is as close to accurate as possible.
When with so much that's happening, with tech and the amount of information that's just out there, it definitely makes sense to have someone like yourself to help, people navigate through this and to make the right decisions. Because sometimes you have person A or expert A saying this, so that's why with your background, this is where you come in terms of consulting, but also in the product that you're creating to help others accelerate their knowledge and their decision making. Is that accurate to say?
Sure. So there's a lot of hype around AI, right? There's a lot of hype, and a lot of a lot of it is not actually really. AI isn't actually that good, in certain things. So the experiment, because that's what this is, the HeitechSoft experiment is, can AI successfully run a business? Right? And one of the reasons why we created this board of directors is to answer the question, is AI at the level now, today, to keep HeitechSoft from failing, and can it get to the point where it will make it thrive? Right? So we channel all of the business making decisions, all of the processes through AI to see where it shines and where it stumbles.
Right.
Now, it stumbles today, but it will not stumble tomorrow.
Right.
So we're mapping out those limitations. So when an OpenAI, for example, released ChatGPT 5
Exactly.
yesterday,
Yes.
right? Immediately, those limitations that we've already identified, we put against ChatGPT 5 to see which of these have been addressed.
Right.
HeitechSoft is the experiment to see just how good AI actually is.
Well, this conversation can go on for hours because there's so much to talk about. But the other piece I just want to ask you about is, not only are you a seasoned business person, obviously a thought leader in this industry, but you are also involved in so many other activities outside of business. You do volunteer work in terms of share a little bit about some of the things that you are involved with outside of the business and towards the community itself.
It's called 100 Men That Give a Damn.
Oh, okay.
And we have a Kitchener chapter, and we meet only quarterly. But during our meetings, everybody brings $100.
Oh.
Right? And we have 3 local charities that compete for the $10,000 grant.
Oh, I see.
So they have to present their case. They have to talk about what they do and why they do it. They have to field some Q&A. And then the volunteers that come in with the cash, they vote on which organization should get the grant.
Amazing.
And I love that idea because it gives me an opportunity not just to obviously help, but actually discover all of these charities and programs that are in the region that I didn't even know existed.
In your past too, you've also been a mentor to young entrepreneurs. Share a little bit about that.
So I have a pretty good relationship with Humber College. And as part of some of the work that or some of the ways that we've helped each other out, I've taken on some mentorship duties to teach young entrepreneurs some of the biggest mistakes probably that I've made. It was myself starting a business because I didn't have a mentor. And I know what it's like not having the answers or being stuck and not being able to get the help that you need or just get advice. And I love watching young entrepreneurs step out of the comfort zone, try something radical, take on risks, knowing that everything that they experience is for their own benefit. Through success and failure, all of those things shape them into eventually successful entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
I actually find that very rewarding.
I'm on the same page with you. And I think nowadays it's even more important to have this intergenerational dialogue. And also, we are living in a time now, and you see it more in the venture press, about the single person unicorn. In the past, it used to be, you had to go through traditional VC route to get the funding or build a small team that then creates the software. But now we're at a stage of where one person, maybe a young person, the next Steve Jobs, conceives of a thought and now can use AI to have a business case, immediately demonstrate that there's a demand for one's product, and to scale it not in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to the billions of dollars we're living in now in that technology space, right?
It has never been easier to start a business.
There you go.
And not only that, a couple nights ago, had trouble sleeping. I was thinking my brain was going a mile a minute. And I had an idea for a software tool. Right? A friend of mine is getting into a business, and I was thinking how would I use AI to help them with their business? And I had this idea for a mobile app.
Right.
Now, normally, to get a working prototype, it is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There you go.
It requires a massive team. Now I can simply describe my idea to an AI, and I can watch it, build me the prototype, and actually test it within hours. Hours.
Very true.
I mean, that's something that is inconceivable.
Yeah, it's very true. And the other thing, and this is why sometimes it's a double-edged sword. Is that the right term for it? Double-edged sword. For us, because we've lived through tech, and also for you in particular, because you know the software processing. For me, marketing communications, the whole idea of being able to communicate and to specify what it is that one is describing, and the more information that one can feed the AI, the more precision you have.
Yes.
Not everybody has that, and that's why it's important, if you are living in this time and age, to get consultant, even at this stage, to help formalize this. Sometimes you read in the press, oh, it's so easy to do that, but it's relative.
It's hard.
Relative
it's hard.
to the people there. But at the same time, it provides the opportunity for young entrepreneurs, but not only young entrepreneurs, I feel even baby boomers who've done that first career and now they're looking at the next 30 years that they could start up something new, but then they feel disadvantaged because all the younger generation is so into their tech. So for someone like you, that is where the benefit of consulting with you would be so powerful. To spearhead their creativity and their desire for entrepreneurship.
Okay, I'm going to push back a little bit.
Go ahead.
One of the things that AI does incredibly well is it levels the playing field.
True.
Because you bring in that Fortune 500 knowledge with you for $25 a month.
Yes.
And you're right, it is about learning how to communicate effectively with the AI, which you can learn very quickly the moment AI starts doing not the thing that you wanted.
Yes.
You have to improve how you describe your problem to the AI, which naturally makes you better at communications.
Yes.
But there is no age gap, because whether you're 15, 20, 40, or 50, we all have the ability to communicate.
Yeah.
Right? Talking to an AI isn't really different than talking to another person.
Yeah.
And we already text each other long enough. It's not only different than texting an AI.
Yeah. Well, where I come from is I know there are groups of entrepreneurs who feel that they are overwhelmed with all the tech buzz, and that they don't feel confident, or they have this illusion that it's more complicated than it really is.
I mean, it is complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it is complicated, but
in terms of scoping out business strategy, because sometimes people have come up without that formal knowledge of business, and so many of them, and some of them I know because I speak to them on a one-to-one level, feel overwhelmed, but they are the most brilliant people, that they just need to know that, yes, like with a little bit of consultative assistance, that they can, match the current generation who's so used to all the current tech. Yeah.
It's interesting because as an entrepreneur, I accept failure.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot be terrified or scared of failing.
Yeah.
Right? You have to. Failure is only a failure if you don't learn anything from it. But the hope is, when you start a business, is that you will reduce your failures before you run out of money.
Right.
You want to stop failing by the time your money runs out, because obviously then the business has failed, and then you either try again, look for another opportunity. You bring consultants in because you want to mitigate as many failures as possible.
There you go.
Right? But certain failures you have to have happen, because you have to learn.
Yeah.
Right? You have to know what works, and starting a business isn't exact science.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of it is luck.
Yeah.
You can do everything right and still fail.
That's true.
So it's a combination of things, and that's why I love it.
Yeah.
I love the thrill, the pressure, the unknown.
Yeah.
But personally, I'm a lot more risk averse, or less risk averse than your typical person.
Yes. Yeah.
Not everybody has that level of risk tolerance, and that's how you decide: am I willing to just try it and see what happens, or is this important enough that I need to hire a professional?
There you go.
And bring somebody who knows what they're doing, and they're going to help me achieve what I need to achieve.
Share with everyone how they can contact you, and also what's coming up in terms of your product that you're releasing.
If you're curious about artificial intelligence and what artificial intelligence can do for you, check out AIexplained.ca. It's a course, it's a one-on-one session where we meet you at your level of expertise, and we will show you not just what AI can do, but how you can apply it to your business or your idea.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. I'm sure this is going to be an ongoing series
I
because
think
things are
it was a lot of
happening.
fun.
So it's been great, and your wealth of knowledge and your insights and your empathy, because you are and have been an entrepreneur. Know that people can obviously relate to, or you can relate to what everyone else is going. And we look forward to seeing you on the dance floor. And that'll be another interview.
That's probably the one with Elena.
Well, we'll see if Beverly has enough energy to interview you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Tom. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome. That was
Cheers.
great. That was great.